Hi, welcome back to yet another episode of Coaches on the Couch, your relationship specialists. My name is Sharon and this is Phil. And we have a really great topic of discussion today, don't we, Phil, on the psychology of body image. What the hell do we mean by that?
The psychology of, look, I'm not a psychologist, so I don't even know if I'm qualified, but I think what it alludes to is mindset.
It does.
It does. So, body image.
It's such a hot topic of discussion these days, especially through social media. You find even a lot of teenagers are struggling with body image these days because it's perceived to be the number one thing. You know, you've got to look good, you've got to look great, you've got to look a particular way, and people get so caught up in that these days and lose their confidence and self-esteem if they're not appearing to be a particular way.
I don't think there's a magazine you can pick up that hasn't got, someone stunning on the front. Advertising, there's that sex sells thing. It's like, wow, you've got to have a certain look to even sell your product now.
Yeah.
And it's just about in every piece of media you look at, and you're spot on when you talk about social media. And we've heard of the people that they get, what's the word I'm looking for, where they get harassed on Facebook and those sort of social medias. Yeah. And it tends to be like a little comment says, "You look terrible," or "You look fat," and fat's got a whole different meaning now.
And what happens over time is that they start to identify themselves as that, and it can be devastating to their confidence and self-esteem, as I alluded to before.
Yeah. Spot on. I might share something with the viewers here. I don't always tell everyone because, it's something that happened to me, and it was back in it was about five years ago. I got what's called Bell's palsy, which is the whole left-hand side of your face gets frozen and locked down. And I noticed that I had a drink and it all started to spill, and I thought, well, maybe I had too much to drink or something. But then I realised it was just water. So, and it took me a while, it took a few months. I had to actually tape the eyes shut to sleep every night. The whole left-hand side just shut down completely. Yeah. And I was training at the time. I was delivering a course, and this course ran for a period of 4 weeks. And I had a bunch of people showing up every day that relied wholly and solely on me. And the doctor said, I'm going to give you a certificate to have some time off. And I was like, well, that doesn't work for the participants because I know what they wanted to get and wanted to deliver. So, of course, they were all concerned. They thought I was having a stroke, which is, my wife thought I was having a stroke too at the time. But it's just like, well, I could have actually hidden and waited for it to repair because the doctor said I had about a 95% chance of having it repaired fully. And as it turned out, it didn't quite come back fully, but it's about an 80% repair, right? 80-90% repair. And it was just like, okay, well, I can let something like body image stop me, but that's not what I'm about. Yeah. I'm about, okay, well, I said I would and I will. So it's like I had the mindset just to say, well, forget my body. Because, it was tough because when you're speaking in front of a group, it pulls, especially on a side that doesn't work. Yeah. Because it's a little bit like this tree, that all the nerves on one side of your face just don't work. Right. So I had a choice. I could hide behind a doctor's certificate, not showing up and having to explain myself like numerous times. Yeah. Because the first thing people would say is like, what's going on? What's going on with the face? And it's like, are you having a stroke? Or are you okay? Or, oh, you look terrible. But
it could be perceived to be that way.
It could have. But from my point of view, I couldn't see it because I'm on this side of my face. Right? I could feel the pull, but that was about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what led you to get into that mindset, Phil, to get past the whole, it doesn't really matter how I appear. How did you get past that? What was it?
Well, what it was, that was completely it. There's a distinction called integrity, and that's doing what you said you would do. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, okay, well, if I'm going to do what I said I would do, I said I would be there for this group and I would deliver the course by hook or by crook. And it was really just setting an example. Because if I'm talking about, doesn't matter if I'm talking about body image or coaching a group of people, that if I'm not going to show up, then they're going to say, well, that's all right, there's a way out. Yeah. So it's just like, okay, put everything else aside. I said I'd do this. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like going somewhere else wasn't going to make it any worse. It was just going to look awkward for a little while. So I was prepared to put up with being awkward for a little while. And, even now, it's become a good story. Yeah. So it's been the basis of something. It's like, well, years ago my face worked fully, but it's just like, it's a good story.
It absolutely is, and it really sheds light just on, doesn't matter what occurs to our body image or, you know, what's appearing on the outside of us, it really doesn't matter. What matters is what you're saying, is what counts on the inside, the relationship that you're having with yourself. That's what counts.
That's very true. Now, Sharon, I know you've also got a story.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So tell me about body image for you. How was that shown up as a challenge?
Yeah, so almost 7 years ago now, I left a long-term relationship, and I was going through a process of wanting to regain my confidence, you know, self-belief, all those kind of things. And I come across a women's figure body sculpting competition, and I went, wow, what a great idea to not only get over my fear of being on stage, as I'd mentioned on a prior episode, but also to build that confidence and self-belief back within myself and start to regain that sense of connection. Yep. And I went through a process of 9 weeks of solid training and dieted day in and day out. Great idea to carbs, all those kind of things. And, you know, it was so great. By the end of the 9 weeks of training, I got up on stage and it was the best thing that I'd ever done. It had nothing to do with my body image as such. It was more just, I couldn't believe the impact it had on my confidence and the relationship that I had with myself. It wasn't about winning that trophy, it was about winning with me. And
I so hear that, because I'm getting there's determination there.
Yeah.
And there's that thing we touched on before, is just doing what you said you would do.
Yeah.
And again, it's not about going out to look good.
Yeah.
Because when you get to that stage of being a competitive bodybuilder, I can't tell the difference. They're all sensational. They're all you can tell the hours they put in and the disciplines they put in. So it's about being disciplined and keeping your word. I mean, those two things are just, I think they're going to be the basis of psychology with us.
Of course.
Especially around the way we show up.
Absolutely.
And now, after the break, I've got to press you, because
we're
going to. Now, who we got coming up after the break?
We're really excited.
Who we got coming up after the break, Sharon?
So we've actually got a really, really fantastic person coming up after the break. Her name is Anna Brooks, and she's here to talk more about the psychology into body image. She is a guru.
Yep. Oh, awesome. Well, let's throw to the break, and we'll see you after the break, and we'll introduce you to Anna. And welcome back to Coaches on the Couch. We've got our first guest. Our guest today is Anna Brooks, and Anna is a body image guru, mindset coach. Anna has a bachelor degree majoring in psychology and qualified and experienced personal trainer. Anna's passion is inspiring, guiding and empowering women to master their minds and live life on their terms. Anna is renowned for working with women who are feeling frustrated and stuck, sometimes not knowing exactly what or how, but knowing that they want and demand more from their lives. Please welcome Anna.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Lovely to have you here, Anna.
Thank you.
Anna, could you tell us and the viewers a little bit about what led you to get into the business that you're in?
Sure. So basically it's people. Ever since I was really young, I knew I had a knack for figuring out people's problems and getting them to get really honest about what's going on. So it was always my friends or the brothers and sisters of my friends that would always end up coming to me to sort out all their issues. And basically, it led me to realise, yep, I can get to their honest truth, figure out what they really want in this situation and get them to actually act on it, which is a big thing. People talk a lot, but actually going through and then doing something is a whole different story. Yep. So that then led me into personal training as well with body image. And then basically after training a lot of clients, especially with the yo-yo dieting and with weight loss, I realised without the right mindset, it's just a constant uphill battle because nobody will stick to anything if they haven't got the mindset first.
Yeah,
and
excellent.
That's where the coaching came into it.
I love that. And you're touching on the topic that we mentioned before about mindset. It all starts with mindset and the relationship that you're having with yourself. I love it. And so can you describe your typical client, who you generally work with and what you do to assist them?
Sure. Well, I don't really have a typical client, I would say, because every client is individual, and that's a really big thing. Whatever I'm suggesting for them in terms of their eating, in terms of their training, whatever it is, their lifestyle, it's very personalised, and that's really important because everybody's different.
That's
Everybody enjoys different things, and you can give anyone any diet plan in the world, and it'll work for as long as they do it. But if it doesn't feel right for them, if it doesn't resonate with them, they're not going to last in it. So it's very personalised. One thing I can say is every single client I work with that gets drawn to me, they know exactly what they want. Or if not, they know that they want something and they're going to get it regardless. Whether they come to me or not, they're still going to get there. It's just that I have that bit of experience and knowledge to help them get there faster.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. And Anna, how important is it? So touching base on the topic of mindset again, how important is it to get your mindset right before we even tackle any issues of concern with body image?
That's crucial. Nothing happens until the mindset is right. And that's actually my tagline on my website is master your mind, transform your life. Sure. And once you've got that, everything else just becomes downhill from there. If you can get on board with what you truly want and get really honest about it, and that's a big part about body image is there's a lot of, like you said before, earlier in the episode, that a lot of the media out there is trying to tell you what you should feel, what you should want. And one thing that I love is teaching my clients there is no shoulds. I want you to be really honest with me. A lot of them come to me and they say, oh, look, I think I know what I want, but everybody says that I can't be hot, I can't be sexy. That's a shallow goal. I shouldn't want that. I should just want to be fit or healthy. And that's great. If that's really what you want, great, that'll work. But if it's not, then you're always going to be chasing something that someone else told you to do.
That's right.
And it doesn't actually inspire you, doesn't make you
Living
excited.
up to someone else's expectations of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And whatever that is, don't label anything. Don't call yourself shallow for wanting something. Don't call it whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Just be honest.
It's whatever it is.
Yeah.
It makes sense. There was something you said earlier which really pulled me in. It was when you said clients are going to come to you and they're going to get whatever they want, and it doesn't matter how you go about it, they're going to get whatever they want.
Yes.
And that's really awesome because when you said someone can be hot and sexy, or they can be fit and healthy, and it's whatever fits with them. And the end result might be exactly the same.
Or it might be both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, cool. And so whatever they want is, you're saying that you'll be able to deliver that.
Well, they're going to get there one way or another. And that's the clients that I always seem to attract, is people that know what they want and they, hell or high water, they will get there. They just might not know how.
Okay.
And they've been searching for that how for quite a while, and they just need that someone with a bit more experience to point them in the right direction, give them some guidance and get them there faster.
So, that's true. It's one of those things that we always talk about too, is if your why is big enough, you'll find the how. So when they have the drive to make the change, whatever that change is, and it could be a whole transformation sometimes. So get in your business, people, they become unrecognisable.
Yeah.
So you're the how.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
that's
they,
right.
They have the why and you're the how. I love it. Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, going back to the topic of mindset, I think it's really, really crucial to nail in terms of how you're seeing yourself on the inside, because that's what really reflects on the outside. You know, I can think back to times when I was training in the gym and I was doing my body sculpting competition. I would have so many young women and mature age women coming up to me and asking me to train them in the gym. And because they wanted to lose weight, and you know, their ultimate goal was to get down to a size whatever or a weigh whatever. But you know, if they weren't happy with who they were in the beginning, when they get to that final goal, are they actually going to be happy? Do you find this with your clients?
Absolutely. A lot of them have a big history in yo-yo dieting and that kind of thing. So their body image is horrible. They've identified themselves as a fat person. Even if they're no longer fat, they may have lost the weight. But getting that mindset to catch up is a whole different story. And one thing I love to really get into my clients is you can't hate yourself enough to get the body you want. You have to love yourself there.
Perfect.
If you're going to hate yourself as you are, you're going to hate yourself as your ideal goal, whatever it is.
Wow.
It's not going to change. You need to love yourself now, whatever that body is. If it's carrying excess fat, whatever, it has got you to where you are now, and you need to love and appreciate it for that in order to get to wherever it is that is your future goal. You can't hate yourself there.
Yeah, spot on, Anna. So well said.
We've got our next segment coming up, and that's based around, we've got a viewer email. I've had a quick peek at it. I think I'd love to have you stick around.
Sure.
Are you going to stick around with us?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Hi and welcome back to Coaches on the Couch. As Phil alluded to earlier, we have an email that's come through.
Yes, Sharon, we have, and this is from Rachel. Rachel is from Wanturna. Rachel writes, "Hi Sharon and Phil. I have been married for 15 years. We have 3 young children, and I don't think my husband finds me attractive anymore. I was physically attractive before having children, but since the children, I have never seemed to look the same as I once did. I'm not as physically active anymore, which doesn't help because I'm pushed for time with the household duties and being a mum and a housewife. I want to look like and feel like my old self, but everything I try doesn't seem to work, and I just end up giving up and feeling worse. Are you able to help me with any of this?" Well, Rachel, I think we've got the experts on the couch right now.
Absolutely, we do.
Can we help out Rachel?
Yes, we can help out Rachel, can't we, Anna?
Absolutely.
Look, just a few things there, Rachel. First of all, just acknowledging you for wanting to regain your old sense of self back. Just congratulating you there and wanting to step forward with that. I'd just love to mention, where you've mentioned here in the email, you're concerned about your husband not finding you attractive anymore. There's so much that I can coach around that.
Look, it's interesting because what she says is, I don't think my husband finds me attractive.
Yeah.
Which is not, maybe she hasn't asked him, because if she doesn't really think it is, it's not like my husband doesn't find me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of assumptions, and maybe there's something that's a perfect place to bring that up too.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, just going back to some prior conversations here, I think this really may help you or may assist you getting back on track to where you want to be, is creating a big enough why as to why you want to do it in the first place. So it seems as though there's quite a lot going on for you right now. Having children, I can imagine it'd be so, I don't have children yet. I'm yet to experience that. But there's so much to manage having children and all the household duties and all those kind of things.
There is.
But then there's also that additional time that we could potentially use if it's used well. If we have a big enough why, the how tends to take care of itself. So if you can start to imagine why this is so important for you to get back to where you truly want to be, and start to connect in with that, and you'll start to find that the how will start to take care of itself, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well, what you touched on before, going back to this sense of who you were, and Rachel, you mentioned that you can't seem to get back to looking the way you used to, and who says you have to? Like, you've had 15 years in a wonderful marriage, you've got 3 children, you're in a very different place now than you were back then. And why not look at something new, the person you can be now that's, you've given birth to 3 beautiful children. And also touching back on what you said about your husband not finding you physically attractive anymore. Again, that was what you perceived it to be. This would be a great time to get him on board with what you want to do. So if you've said that you've tried a whole lot of things and they don't seem to stick, maybe you need to get a bit of support going on as well. If you talk to your husband and say, look, I want to feel physically active, I want to feel happy, I want to feel energized, can you take the kids off my back for 2 hours every other night or something so I can go do something for myself? That's a fantastic way to start, and that way you actually feel connected to your husband at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely, because where there's a will, there's a way, Anna. I love how you've drawn upon that, and that she could potentially seek the assistance from her husband to maybe assist in making that time for
maybe
her.
doing a few things together too, Sharon. It's like, because he's obviously still around and still active. So it's like, okay, so what can they do together? And sometimes it's just doing that activities alone and getting the connections that husband and wife have, and restoring the communication openly, because obviously there's a bit of communication missing. We, again, going back to that assumption she had of, I think my husband. And it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So just, there's so many little things. I mean,
there's so many little things.
When you look at emails, it's a surface thing, but we can all relate some way or another.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, so it's just like, well, find someone, as Anna alluded to, find someone that can help you through with this, because, you know, deep down, we can talk about the actions we take, but it's who we be, and we're human beings. We often get caught up in the doingness of things. We're not human doings, we're human beings. So really be someone who's going to take not just your body image forward, but your mindset first, and that's what I see is happening. And she's in a perfect place. She wants to do both. So, you know, I don't know. I don't mean this. What would be the first thing that you would do if she come to see you, Anna? What would be the first thing you would do?
I would find out what she's tried. Because Rachel, you mentioned that you feel like everything you try, it just doesn't work, and you end up giving up and feeling worse. It's about figuring out what will work for you long term, because anything will work for as long as you do it. But then once you're sick of it, once you figure out that this isn't for you, this eating plan, this exercise plan doesn't actually work for you, then you're done, and you just go back to what you were doing before. So it's about finding what works for you, and that's why I said get your husband on board with it, make him understand what you're feeling, and look, he's probably wants to know this as well. Like, he's part of this relationship, he's part of growing up with your kids as well. He'd love to hear from you, and he'd love to be able to be on board and help you out with it. So that would be my first thing. Talk to your husband, get him on board with this, and then take some time to figure out what it is that you truly want in terms of how you're going to know that you're physically active, how you're going to feel physically attractive yourself, because a lot of this is what you're feeling, and that's going to come down to you.
Sure.
Your husband might think that you're hot as right now.
Exactly. It's all perception, right?
Exactly.
And also, just going back to what I'd mentioned before, consider why you want to do this. Are you doing this for your husband? Are you doing this for your children? Or are you doing this for yourself? And is it what you truly want to do? And if it is, and if that reason is big enough, you will find the how to take care of it.
Yeah, that's really well said. I mean, it's the mindset first, and it's working in partnership. Because if, you know, two people can really lighten the load of one. And it's like working together with someone. Look, and it might be just getting your husband involved in here's the actions you're going to take, and it might be heading down the gym and finding yourself a personal trainer. There's another partner you've got, and or also might be other ways around it. It's like with your coffee club with your mums. It's like, let's get together and make it a walking group instead of just sitting around having coffee.
Yeah.
Or you could do both, of course.
Yeah.
But, you know, just doing something with someone else, and, you know, that's really mixing it up. And I want to thank you. Well, thank you for being here on this on the couch, on the coaches on the couches with us. Another coach has been awesome on the couch, hasn't she, Sharon?
She has, and it's been such a great pleasure having here. And who knows, we may see Anna again on yet another episode of Coaches on the Couch. But until then, until the next episode, if you would like to know more about today's show, or even more about Anna's services, you can head on over to coachesonthecouch.com. And if you would love to have some challenges dealt with on Coaches of the Couch, you can contact us through the website as well.
So coachesonthecouch.com, hit that contact us button, and you can please send us in your email. And until then, see you next time.